We have had the rumors before now that he was determined to give judgment against all known laws and the Constitution, first to embarrass APC, two, to embarrass the federal government. For me, I do not feel worried, but I feel so sorry for the judiciary. The executives may have problems, the legislature may have problems, but the moment justice could be purchased, then we are in trouble in this country. And the ruling this afternoon is a clear evidence that this country is in trouble. And let me tell you that this same judge has over 10 cases against Ebonyi State government with him. And you can imagine what is going to rule. We have petitioned him to NJC, and we will follow it up at all costs to ensure that this man is brought to justice. I want you to disregard the judgment. It is null and void. There is a substituting judgment in Zamfara State, and there is also a judgment in Ebonyi State. So we've chosen the one to obey. We will not obey his ruling. We will obey the ruling of a competent court of equal level that says you cannot sue a governor. The sections of the Constitution are very clear. No civil or criminal proceedings could be brought against a sitting governor. This is not a pre-election matter. This is not a tribunal matter. And so he has murdered justice in this country, and he will be remembered and his generation for this jungle justice, which has nothing, no leg to stand. I'm still the governor of Ebonyi State, and he has no powers to remove me. But let me say to the nation that there is a need to look at the integrity of our judiciary, because if the judiciary begins to rule against constitutional matters that are well laid down, then the citizens of this country may decide not to obey such, jungle justice. This is very important.
Yes, I am Barrister I. Ukeni, Legal Advisor APC Ebonyi State, the head of the legal team APC Ebonyi State. Well, the ruling of Progress Congress as a family is not ignorant of the devices of the enemy that are not in consonance with the good governance of Ebonyi State, the people-oriented government of Ebonyi State. The issue of judgment and counter-judgment at times become worrisome in our country. The true position is that there is an earlier valid and existing judgment of a competent court, Ebonyi State High Court, seated here in Abakaliki, Ebonyi State, on issue of the defection of the governor of Ebonyi State, the property or otherwise of his defection, and his deputy, including other government functionaries who defected alongside with the governor. Issue of defection or issue of leaving one party to another is a constitutional right. Everybody, anything that has to do with the constitution must not be taken for granted. It's a constitutional matter. The Constitution of Nigeria has provided that any Nigerian citizen has a right of association, right of freedom of movement, right of association. You have the right to leave a political party today and join another party tomorrow, a party of your choice. And this is what even the High Court of Ebonyi State considered in a well-considered judgment and delivered same in favor of the governor of Ebonyi State and his deputy, including other government functionaries. And the government is subsisting. The judgment has not been set aside by any court of competent jurisdiction in this country. Surprisingly to some of us, even the legal field, seeing a court of a coordinate and concurrent jurisdiction giving judgment in the same subject matter. I think every one of us should know that it is a serious and flagrant abuse of court process. And that later judgment becomes a nullity. It cannot stand. The Supreme Court has held in a plethora of cases that once an issue of abuse of court process is involved, no matter how good, no matter how beautiful the processes or the proceedings of the court and the judgment may be, it becomes dead on arrival. So the judgment of the Federal High Court is dead on arrival, ab initio. And that is the position of the law. So we have to caution our colleagues, the lawyers, who engage in such sharp practices to ask court and avoid same, to come out from same. It doesn't favor the practice, it doesn't favor the system. It makes the system so porous and susceptible to weaknesses. And we know, and we are calling on the members and good supporters of our great party to ignore and discountenance such kangaroo, such judgment obtained at the backyard. Because before the court is abuse of court process, it's a judgment obtained at the backyard. And to us, it won't stand. It won't see the light of the day. It's not be long. When it will be tested on appeal, the whole world, the Nigerians, will see that this judgment was concocted, was obtained at the backyard. So we are calling on our good supporters to discountenance anything of this nature, a judgment of this nature, because there's already the party, the ruling opposition Congress, has filed a state of execution, and in which all these the judgment, the competent judgment of the High Court of EBONYI State will be executed, and the higher court will see that this present judgment or this later judgment is a nullity. It's an abuse of court process. So we are calling on Ebonyans, calling on our supporters of good governance, supporters of the good, the people-oriented government of President David Umahi, to go about their solidarity, supporting the good government, discountenancing and screening whatever that has happened in the recent past or happened today, the Federal High Court, ABUJA, that it is a self-made or man-made judgment. It's not judgment on the merit. It's a serious and flagrant abuse of court process, and it will not see the light of the day because it's an abuse of court process.
Please don't forget to subscribe to this channel, The Mirror TV on YouTube, The Mirror on Facebook, DMC TV and Co on Facebook page. Subscribe and follow us on this channel as we give you the latest as it happens here in Ebonyi State and outside the state. For sponsorship, call this line showing on the screen or email us on the email showing on the screen, mbamsylvester@gmail.com. Thank you and God bless you as you subscribe.